Hi guys and welcome to CrazyPeppera Revenge. This channel is all about crazy true stories, stuff that happens in real life when things get a little bit messy, people dealing with drama, cheating, lies, breakups, and even revenge. Some stories are wild, some are emotional, but all of them will keep you watching. If you like real talk and real situations, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stick around. This is Crazy Pepper Revenge, where the stories get spicy.
Welcome to the Last Supper of Traitors.
I'm Colton Black, and this story destroyed my faith in marriage, but taught me what real betrayal looks like. I once believed love could protect my dignity. I was catastrophically wrong. 5 days ago, I found my daughter Belle's iPad with a group chat called Family Only. My wife Willow, her sister Lucy, and their mother Aurora had been mocking me for months. "He's just a pushover," Willow wrote. "He won't do anything," Lucy added with laughing emojis. "Drain his savings while you can," Aurora advised. "He'll never stand up for himself." They ridiculed me for turning down promotions to spend time with Belle, joked about my trust while Willow's house renovations were really spa weekends, shopping sprees, and affairs. What truly stung wasn't the money. It was the contempt, the callousness that turned every sacrifice into an inside joke. Something in me snapped that night. I wasn't just leaving. I needed to show them what happens when you shatter a man's faith and assume he'll stay tame. For years, I'd been the nice guy, the gentle father, the trusting husband. They'd never wondered what would happen if that quiet, obliging man discovered real rage. 2 days later, Belle asked innocently, "Daddy, why does Mommy's friend come over when you're not home?" I paused. "What friend, sweetheart?" "The tall man with a ring like yours and Mommy's. He comes when you're at work, brings coffee, and they talk in her room. Sometimes they laugh. Mommy calls him Theo. Theo Ross. My childhood best friend who introduced me to Willow at Lucy's birthday barbecue. Always around, always laughing." I suddenly remembered how Willow watched him, the subtle shift in her posture when he arrived at gatherings. The puzzle pieces slotted together with sickening clarity. I planted a motion-activated camera behind a living room vase. Willow, too confident in my obliviousness, never noticed. Next day at noon, my phone buzzed. Theo's silver truck pulled up. He let himself in, grinning. Footage showed them kissing in my foyer, curtains wide open. He wore his wedding ring, a cruel reminder of his marriage to Naomi with 2 kids. For 2 hours, they stayed in my bedroom. Then he walked out, straightened his shirt, and left. I didn't yell or cry, just stared at the screen, feeling something dark coil inside me. Financial misuse had become infidelity and betrayal by my best friend. That night, I overheard Willow on the phone with Aurora. "He's never going to confront me. We'll finalize everything next week. Once we get his bonus, I'll serve papers and take the house." "What's he gonna do, Cry?" Her arrogance became the match, igniting my rage. No more silence, no more compliance. My lawyer, Miss. Phillips examined everything. Screenshots, camera footage, text logs, bank statements showing tens of thousands stolen for fake renovations. "You have a rock-solid case for divorce. Potential criminal charges," she said, eyes wide. "They're systematically robbing you." "I don't just want them to stop," I replied, my voice deeper, harsher. "I want them to pay." Every one of them. At Aurora's monthly family dinner, their ritual to gather gossip and keep appearances, I arrived with a plan. I'd arranged for Belle to stay with friends, wanting her far from what might happen. The sprawling house screamed wealth but delivered only pretense behind its polished facade. As we gathered around the massive dining table, Aurora took charge. "Let's share highlights of our week." "Willow, darling, start." Willow tossed her hair. "I've been prepping my business venture. It's going to bring substantial revenue. I'm counting on my wonderful husband to support me." Arrogance laced every syllable. A doorbell interrupted before Lucy could speak. I stood calmly. "I'll get it." A courier I'd hired held manila envelopes. The family stared perplexed as I entered with envelopes labeled with each name. "Before dessert, I'd like to share something," I said, placing envelopes by each plate. "What's this about?" Aurora demanded. "Go ahead, open them." Gasps, curses, and wide-eyed horror spread around the table. Willow's face turned white. Lucy's mouth fell open. Aurora's lips thinned bloodless. Even Grant, Lucy's husband, looked shaken flipping through pages, bank statements showing tens of thousands siphoned from my accounts. Screen captures from Family Only, chat mocking me, strategizing how to bleed me dry. Images of Theo arriving time-stamped and dated. Correspondences between Lucy and Willow about divorce plans. Aurora's emails orchestrating manipulations for maximum gain. "What the hell is this?" Lucy hissed, trembling. "Colton, why would you do this? This is private." Willow's eyes brimmed with panic. "Stealing from me was also private," I said, voice resonating in the hush. "Cheating with my best friend was your business too. But you made it mine when you made a fool of me." Aurora thumped the table. "You had no right." "I had every right," I countered, glaring at the woman who taught my wife to con me. "You think you can rob me blind and degrade me behind my back?" Grant looked punched in the stomach. "Lucy, are these bank logs for our account? You took a second mortgage on our home." "You're funneling his money." She shrank back, stammering while he held up pages. "You fool," Lucy whispered. "You've ruined everything." "No, Lucy, you ruined everything. I just made sure you wouldn't get away with it." Another doorbell rang. My blood turned ice, half expecting who it might be. Willow jumped up. "I'll get it." There stood Theo Ross in a black leather jacket, hair disheveled, expression wavering between guilt and defiance. "Willow, I wanted to talk," he said softly, then caught sight of me. "Colton, look, man, I know how this looks." Electric fury jolted through me. My best friend. His voice so familiar, loaded with memories, camping trips, high school pranks, best man speeches, all turned toxic. "Why are you here, Theo?" I asked, deceptively calm. He glanced at Willow. "I came to manipulate me further?" My voice rose. "To waltz into my home again while I'm away?" Panic flickered across his face. "You two were basically separated. Don't you dare lie," I snarled. "I've got footage of you in my bedroom while I was at work." "My daughter asked why mommy's friend keeps visiting." He turned pale. "Colton, please, you have to understand." "Stop," I barked, stepping forward. "There's nothing to understand but your betrayal." The old pushover would have tried reasoning or walking away, but that quiet, compliant man had snapped. Seeing my so-called best friend in my home with my wife, my fists tightened. Theo realized too late what was happening. I lunged, driving my shoulder into his gut, slamming him backward into the doorframe. Wood cracked. Lucy screamed. Aurora yelled to stop this madness, but I wasn't listening. I grabbed his jacket and swung, connecting with his jaw. Pain flared in my knuckles, but felt good. Too good. Theo stumbled onto the porch. I advanced, hooking another blow across his face. "Colton, this is insane." "It's justice," I hissed, heart pounding. "All those times you shook my hand, smiling while going behind my back. Did you think I'd just lie down forever?" He grabbed my arm, but I twisted away, delivering a hard kick to his knee. He collapsed, cursing. I stood over him, chest heaving. "Stop! You're going to kill him!" Willow shrieked. "Funny," I growled, glaring at her. "You never worried about me. Only him." My body shook with adrenaline. Theo coughed, spitting crimson onto the porch. Strong arms clamped around my chest, Grant and others pulling me off. "That's enough." "He's not worth it," Grant panted. Theo struggled to stand, leaning against the rail, life fluid trickling from his mouth, eyes shining with terror. He'd never seen me like this. None of them had. Willow rushed to Theo's side while Aurora shouted about calling police. "Call them," I spat. "We'll see how they like the evidence I've collected on your entire family." "I'll be arrested for attack, sure, but you'll face fraud, theft, conspiracy charges. I'll walk out quicker than you'll wiggle out of yours." For a long moment, no one moved. Lucy collapsed into a chair, face in hands. Aurora glared but said nothing, phone dropping. Grant, exasperated, rubbed his face. "This is insane, Lucy." "Did you really conspire to steal from Colton?" She nodded tearfully, then spat at me. "You didn't have to do this publicly. Why should I go quietly after what you did? It was never enough to cheat me out of money. You had to degrade me, laugh at me, call me a pushover. Did you ever consider what happens when a pushover pushes back?" Silence. Even Aurora said nothing. The foundation of their manipulative world caved in. Willow helped Theo to the sofa, then turned toward me, tears streaking her face. "Colton, I'm sorry. It just happened. Theo was there, and you've always been distant." I felt alone. "Don't you dare blame this on me," I hissed. "When you needed money, I gave it. When you needed time, I gave that too. I gave you everything, Willow, and you mocked me for it." Anger flashed in her eyes. "Fine. Yes, we mocked you. You were too stupid to see it, but you weren't supposed to become this monster. Monster? I barked a hollow laugh. You forged that monster yourself. You think I wanted this? I had no choice. You threw me to the wolves, so I became one. You'll never win custody of Belle, she spat. A violent father knocking people. No judge would trust you. I calmly reached into my pocket, showing texts between her and Aurora about setting me up for violent outbursts to claim misuse in court, plus recordings of financial misdeeds and footage of her with Theo. You're going to lose everything, I said. If you try using Belle as leverage, I'll bury you in legal actions. Fear ran deeper than immediate confrontation across Willow's face. She realized the protective father was becoming her worst nightmare in custody battle. Within days, Miss Phillips filed an avalanche of paperwork, restraining orders, custody motions, fraud lawsuits. Lucy's husband worked with us, unveiling more hidden funds and creative theft methods. The net closed rapidly. News spread fast. Aurora ended up under investigation for orchestrating multiple financial schemes, including forging family signatures for credit lines. Lucy's meltdown intensified when Grant froze accounts, launching his own suits. Their lavish lifestyle collapsed. Theo's wife Naomi found out and filed for divorce, taking their kids. She took a scorched earth approach, calling every mutual acquaintance to expose what Theo had done. The family court judge, seeing evidence, granted me sole custody of Belle, with Willow getting only supervised visitation. The court believed she might emotionally manipulate Belle or abduct her. I found a new house in a decent neighborhood. Less fancy, more honest. Painted Belle's room her choice color, signed her up for after-school art programs. I tried giving her as normal a life as possible. One night, after a custody hearing, Willow confronted me in the courthouse hallway. Mascara had run, hair was unkempt, looked like she hadn't slept in days. Colton, I'm sorry for everything. I know it might be too late, but I don't want to lose Belle. You have to understand I never meant. Stop, I said, voice cutting. I'm not that gullible man anymore. She started crying. The old me would have consoled her, apologized for her tears, but I just stared, thinking how she'd planned to use Belle against me. You set this in motion, I said coldly. Deal with it. Then I walked away. Theo cornered me outside a diner a week later, face bearing a faint scar where I'd struck him. He looked thinner, cheeks hollow, as if life had wrung him out. Colton, I'm sorry. I lost everything. Naomi, my kids, my job. We were friends for so long. If you can find it in your heart to forgive. I let out a harsh laugh. I gave you my trust, Theo. You spit on it. You want my pity now that you've lost your family? I have none left to give. Please, if you see Naomi, can you tell her I'm sorry? I shrugged him off. That's your business. You want redemption? Earn it. But you won't get it from me. He left, shoulders hunched. A broken shell of the arrogant friend I once knew. Maybe somewhere beneath the hatred, I felt a flicker of sadness for what we'd been. Childhood buddies forever. But he'd crushed that bond. So I let him vanish without another word. Months later, the divorce was finalized. I was awarded majority of our marital assets, including a lump sum from our old house sale. Willow faced criminal charges with Lucy and Aurora. Plea bargains were in the works. Belle, meanwhile, was thriving. New school, new activities, a father finally present in every sense. They'd thought the quiet, trusting husband would stay tame forever. They learned what happens when you push a man too far. Sometimes the nice guy doesn't finish last. He finishes everyone who crossed him.